Welcome to the Chromaniacs, your weekly look inside San Diego FC and MLS. I'm your host, Craig Elston, joined as always by my Chromaniacs, Tony Sanchez and Alex Pena, for our 50th ever main show of the Chromaniacs. What's going on, fellas?
Well, it's been a interesting 50 episodes. It's a good number, good solid round number. Really enjoying it so far, and I enjoyed it. Last time I didn't really talk about it with the supporters. Thank you, everybody who welcomed me at Snapdragon Stadium and let me have a little bit of an outlet that day, a different view. Won't do it this time because I need to see a very good Colorado team against San Diego at home.
Very good.
Alex.
Yeah. Oh, man. It's going to be a fun one on Saturday, but you know, I had to do some writing because I actually went to that LAFC game, and I did not expect in my notes and in my writing I would ever use the word shiesty, but I did use the word shiesty, and it just made me laugh. It made me laugh because it's like, oh, I was not ever expecting that to talk about a soccer game, and here we are. I was at LAFC at Portland, and mixed results, right? Isn't that right, Craig?
Well, you know, overall, if you think about a road trip and you say you got one win, one loss, you split the points on a road trip, you'd say that's pretty good. That's the old classic win at home and split on the road, right? Like, that's classic baseball way to make the playoffs. Is SDFC at the point where splitting anything is getting too late in the day? With all of the results from the final match day completed on Wednesday, there's SDFC in 13th place. There's Galaxy in 10th. After a win on Wednesday when the Chromatos lost, at some point you gotta stack results. At some point, this club has to stack wins or else they will be out of the MLS Cup playoffs in a couple of months. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Wednesday's loss in Portland, break down the match. We did not do a post-match show that night because it was a Wednesday night. It was very late, and the team lost, and we were going to record today. So here we are. Hope you enjoy it. If you're watching us on YouTube, you can hit that thumbs up button. Click the subscribe button so that you'll be notified every time that we do a live post-game show like we are likely to do Saturday night after SDFC and Colorado Rapids. Please help us out. Throw some comments down below. We'll engage with you as the week goes on. If you happen to be listening to the show on podcast and you can offer us a 5-star rating or a kind written review, all of those things are extremely helpful as well. Thanks to everybody for being here. Let's dig into it now. Wednesday night, a lot of hope. We talked about Saturday. First off, you know, you just heard Alex talk about, you know, people wearing masks, trying to invade the Frontera SD part of BMO Stadium, being repelled by security. Hey, fun. Games in LA. Ooh, rivalry. All right. Yeah. Okay. Let's keep that stuff out of the sport if we can. Meanwhile, up to Portland, where under new management, the Timbers are starting to feel like they've got a good grasp of these MLS Cup playoff standings. And fellas, they moved over the playoff line with a 3-1 victory on Wednesday night over San Diego FC. I didn't think this was a disastrously played game by SDFC. I thought they showed up pretty well and got beat on a couple of bangers. Velde hit an absolute beauty, and DaCosta hit one that like Cabo Verde was calling, saying, hey, would you like to join the team? You know, we like guys who can shoot like that. So I thought a couple of really impressive plays by Portland. And for SDFC, you know, did they pay the Dreyer Brandy Chastain tax in this game, guys? Was it as simple as Anders Dreyer finished a penalty at LA and celebrated by tearing his jersey off, and that led to a completely unnecessary yellow that when a necessary yellow followed, they didn't have him. And Mighton plus whatever at the end of the game is just that front line, Morgan and Gvartsen Mighton, is just not enough for SDFC to win on the road.
No, and being at that game, I had a really good view. I was sitting right dab in the middle, in midfield, and I did notice, like right away, SanDiego.FC picking up some turnovers like early in that match. I think they got like 3 or 4 interceptions, and when it's like down the central part of the field or on the right side of the field, and that's where Dreyer should have been. I just kept thinking to myself, that's a ball that Dreyer would be getting and setting, himself up for a shot or somebody else up for a shot. But instead, you had Alex Mighton, and I think we kind of know what he is. He's not the Dreyer level player. He's not even maybe not even a replacement level player. He's probably better off just coming off the bench. And I think we saw it in that first goal right away that Portland took advantage of. Like Alex Mighton received the ball, he lost the ball, and it was a quick turn over the other way, and Velda scored. And yeah, you can't be doing that, Alex Mighton, and you can't be going to the ground either. Like as soon as the ball was taken away from him, it was quick. He was quickly on the ground, and it just went the other way rather quickly. And you can't be doing that. Like there has to be like a better option than Alex Mighton on a Wednesday night when you don't have Dreyer.
Yeah, Alex, it's you, Craig, or I.
Me.
That's the better option at this point. Like it's pick anybody who's in the comment section and whoever watches the show, like right now, go for it. You are contributing equally, if not a little bit more than Alex Mighton has been. And looking at that play specifically too, like it's not just I can't just pin it on Alex Mighton also, because the teammates also know who he is. If Alex Mighton loses the ball, goes down, there needs to be somebody who steps up and makes up for it. And not only did the team not make up for it, the team just completely decided not to defend and gave Portland every single blade of grass to come over and counterattack and just be super comfortable. A great goal, a great shot. But who's pressing? Where's the
That's exactly right.
Immediacy to say like, hey, let's go up and make sure that's not a shot. If I'm CJ Dos Santos, I'm saying, why are you letting them shoot? Like that's I'm turning around, looking at my defenders. I'm looking over at Yeppe. I'm looking over the midfield. Who is defending? Who is pressing? Who's making this shot uncomfortable? Nobody was there. This shot goes in. He's a professional, and he's going to put it on target the way that he did. It's a great goal, yes, but you also have to look at the layers of what allowed that goal to happen and where did that start? Yes, it starts with Mighton on the other side. Mighton, get up, come back, commit a foul, do something, stop the play. Because anytime that's been happening in transition, I think every SanDiego FC fan is just puckering up a little bit like, yeah, that's going to be a goal. And you don't have the firepower to come back. And you don't have the firepower right now to really go toe-to-toe with somebody who has so much space in a Portland team who, again, is in that same spot for playoff, berth. They're trying to come out for playoffs. And, you said it earlier, Craig, too. It's a new coach. New head coach. If you really want to go like, well, Mikey's a new head coach in the MLS. No, does this guy just
No, he's not. Yeah, he's old news now. Everyone's heard his stories.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's heard all of his famous, get you fired up quotes because he used them on the road to the Western Conference last year. You don't think he emptied out the notebook of like his favorite motivational things? They made it to the Western Conference final, for God's sake. He didn't expect to get there. He emptied that notebook. Now he's like going back to page 3 and page 4, and these guys are like, yeah, I remember this in August last year, dude. Like you said that before. I'm kidding. I'm not actually being literal about that. What I'm saying is, yeah, Mikey is a second-year coach. Second-year coaches, same as your second novel, same as the second season of an unexpected breakout hit TV show. It's the ultimate challenge. isn't it? It's the ultimate challenge. How do you top a thing that was so great when it wasn't supposed to be that great? How do you get out there and hit 3 homers in your first game and then come back? What do you do the next game? It's a tough situation for SDFC and for Mikey Vanas. And they've had all sorts of things bedevil them, which is why really my prompt that I led to you was, did Dreyer cause this loss? I mean, in some ways, I'd say yes. In other ways, I'd say SDFC's defense remains turnover prone. The idea of building out of the back is beautiful and great, but and of holding possession advantage is great. But when all you do with that possession is play rondo and move the ball around, and then it's just waiting for one turnover that can be sent into a counterattack the other way, it really feels kind of meaningless, all of that possession taking place. You need attack. And that's why I would definitely say Elias Achuri is going to be a major asset for this team. The way he carries the ball, the way he's able to dribble, he draws a ton of attention from the opposing defense. He's looked extremely active so far. He's a complete newbie within the system and with these players, and it feels like the players are continuing to evolve and change as well. But I really am looking forward, guys, to seeing the Achuri, Ingvartsen, Dreyer front line, because the Morgan, Ingvartsen, Mighton front line isn't going to get this club into the playoffs.
I could push back a little bit on that one, because I didn't think Morgan played that bad. He was actually
he's okay. He's okay. Don't get me wrong. I prefer Achuri and Dreyer.
Yeah, I know. I completely understand. But in this match, when you don't have a 100% ready to go Achuri yet, but someone needed to step up in this match to take those shots. And the first one we saw was Pirani, like right off the bat in the 5th minute. He was the one taking those shots, and then it was Morgan, and they were trying to do something. I think something's better than nothing than not taking the shot. But yeah, I think those two guys they knew like they had to take it upon themselves to be a little bit more aggressive inside the box and take those shots. And as you saw, Morgan helped get the assist and helped Pirani get the goal that made it level. And I think, there's a skill set there, and it's probably, it's better than having Mighton out there, right? Like right now on the bench, you're picking Mighton, or you're picking Morgan over Mighton. But I really did like what Morgan was doing. And and Pirani was, I felt like, he was finally coming into his own in this one, and really trying to give some offense, some attack to San Diego FC. And we're seeing that he's taking the shots that Oni Valakari wasn't doing. And I think we're finally seeing, we saw it in this one, and in this half, San Diego had 10 shots and 27 touches in the opposition box, and they got one out of it, and it was just all about, can they get the next one, right, Tony?
Yeah, and really they couldn't. They did as best as they could. And trying to also go back to that Dreyer question you had earlier, Craig, like I mentioned it the other day. One of my biggest pet peeves is a team that is reliant and overly reliant on one player, and the fact that he wasn't there, did that then give an excuse, an outlet for Mikey Vadas to go a little bit more heavier on that rotation and just have Mighton out there, just have different looks, and just say, hey, this is what we have. We have an important game at home moving forward. But in the post match, you'll hear what Mikey Vadas said, and I don't think he's also very happy with the overall performance of this matchup. But you see where Pirani, you see where these players that are coming in, Thorhausen, are going against the grain because they're not necessarily 100% right to dreamified, and they're taking those shots. And it was interesting too that Pirani stayed on the field, and Valakari wasn't, that wasn't a 1-for-1 Pirani for Valakari. Valakari is the one that comes off as a center midfielder, throw in some more center mids, but that creative flow is still coming through the Brazilian. And I don't know where the time is going to come to have every single one of these pieces come together in time enough to make playoffs and
That's
make
it.
any sort of impact.
Mhm.
That's it. I mean, there's a winning club out there. You can see it. You can imagine what it looks like, as you said, when all the pieces are match fit and starting and in the right position. Birani, I think, is a plus to this team. Quite frankly, and Alvarado's gotten more run. Good for him. You want to see the young guys get more opportunities to prove themselves. Progression is never or is rarely linear. Progression is rarely linear. No reason to give up on a kid like Alvarado. No reason to give up on a kid like Soma. Like, I'd still like to see Soma get some more opportunities in the midfield to try and be creative and attack. But overall, there's something missing there. There's something missing in between a front line that can be dynamic and a back line that has its chances and has a pretty good chance of starting the build out. There's something missing there. And not to jump and hopscotch too badly on our menu, fellas, but we all subscribe to Matt Doyle, and he's been a guest on the show this season. And I did think it was interesting that when he put out 2 different columns this week talking about the remainder of the transfer window and conference by conference, team by team, what he thought needed to get done, he said it pretty plainly, and he said it on his Soccer Wise podcast and in his rankings as well. SDFC needs more. They need more. They've made moves, they've made positive steps, but this still isn't it. And he thinks that they could still contend all the way up, that they could contend all the way through MLS Cup if they added a little more into the midfield. What do you guys think about that?
Man, that's a tough one because it's like who are you like taking those minutes away from? Is it Yepe? Is it getting
It's Valakari.
Yeah, is it? Well, you're also trying to get minutes to Alvarado, who's starting to be a lot of people's favorite player. Like, I think you kind of want to, it's going to be hard to figure this one out because you just got Pirani. He's supposed to kind of help you in the attack, and then there's those 2 other spots. It's do you want to get another defensive midfielder in here and try to figure out the system in a matter of weeks? It's just I don't know. I don't know if it's midfield help. I really don't. I actually I've been asking this question on our Discord too. It's like I really don't know what it could be. But yeah, I do think a upgrade somewhere is necessary. I don't know if it's attack, defense. Where is going to be like the best? If you had to add one guy, where would it be? Is essentially that question, and I really don't know.
Oh, some people are starting to think that the one guy is on the bench as head coach.
Yeah,
but that's not going to solve anything. That's not going to solve anything. My biggest pushback on anything of just fire Mikey, fire anybody is, okay, you're not going to go get a Zinedine Zidane. Pep Guardiola is not going to walk into San Diego FC. You're going to get Danish McDane over, who is, right to team, and it's going to be the exact same thing. Like, and if you don't like that, push back to the ones that are making those decisions, which is ownership and the right to dream. And they haven't lied to anybody. They've been telling you this system is going to be. But I kind of think that everybody's in place. I don't think they need anybody. They already have the players that they have in place. They're just not performing. They performed against LAFC. You can see that this team is capable of these grand things. You can see that SanDiego FC is capable of maintaining possession, maintaining, the way of style and still having that identity of them. But the identity is just either not working. There needs to be different layers to it, which is then a coaching aspect that needs to go ahead and be dynamic on attack and defense. The second goal for Portland is a miscue by Thorhausen, who doesn't follow his man. And that's just not knowing exactly where he needs to be, because Thorhausen is too cued in of, I need to get the ball and make something happen moving forward because he's an attacking-minded defender. The guy plays 9 positions. Like, right back isn't necessarily number 1 up there. He's more of an attacking person, which adds that layer that's supposed to help whoever's up there, Dryer, but he's not. And so, in this lineup of San Diego FC, they were able to take down a top-tier LAFC team who maybe wasn't on their best day, but it was at their house and their conditions were set for them to win. Then you move over, and I mentioned it. This is an emotional team. Did they just have a hangover on it? Did they just look over this game and say, you know what? It's Portland. We've beat them so many times. We know how to take it to them. We know how to defend Velde. We know how to do these things. But I think that right now the players that they have are the ones that are going to be taking San Diego FC as far as they're going to go this season. Obvious statement is obvious, but there's not an extra layer or another person that's going to be coming in and really giving this team 3, 4, 5 more wins than they would have either way. The players are here. They just need to adapt themselves. They need to just play like they have been playing, have that confidence. I don't know. Like the light turned off. Like, did they just shine way too bright against LAFC and then just kind of dim a little bit? And now we're just important.
Look,
this is what I would say. Alex, sorry, I'll toss this back to you, but I'll keep this very short. What I've seen a lot of evidence of an average club. I've seen a lot of evidence that SDFC is simply an average club this year, that they have some very established weaknesses that everyone in the league knows. And this year they understand how to exploit it much better than they did in the past. I think you can write a story, and the story has probably already been written and, sucked up into an AI machine, and it'll be rewritten multiple times, that, between CONCACAF and the Toluca loss and the 4 straight games for the red card in May. Was it 4? Was it 5? All 5. Thank you. 5 straight games with a red card, that it just set up this negative chain for this club. And then they made changes at mid-season, but soccer's not baseball. You can't just throw a Churi into the lineup batting second and allow him to cook. You need everything to be part of the system, the right to dream system. If you've heard anything Tony said for months on this show, it's that the system is king in San Diego. Well, if you're not a part of the system, even if you're succeeding, the system might not be perfectly calibrated for success around you. So I'm really, I hate to say it, I still think there's an opportunity for the team to put it together. But if they can't win 3 or 4 matches in a row, they're not gonna make the playoffs. They're simply not gonna make the playoffs. So, it's certainly excusable to follow a Saturday night road win in LAFC with a Wednesday night road loss in Portland. It's not like a damning loss by any means. I'm just saying time's running out. You need to put that streak together. You've got 2 of your next 3, games at home. You've got to put wins together. If you stack wins together, you can absolutely make the playoffs. And then you see what happens. You see what the draw is. You see everything else. If you can't stack wins together, this is simply going to become a second season that everyone kind of forgets, along the way, as that reset year that happened in between a beautiful first year and hopefully a beautiful third year.
Yeah, and just look at the lineup they had to throw out there. Bombino wasn't a part of it, and Verhoeven, and I really do believe that at LAFC they played as much as they could. They kind of maxed out, and they played very well. I mean, they were able to contain Boanga and Son as much as they could, and then they were very limited in this one. And I think when you have your full squad out there, you're gonna have better results. And I think that's just the Leagues Cup effect, and it's not just us. LAFC also did the same thing. Yet last night they heavily rotated their lineup, and Son and Boanga weren't out there, and only played 30 minutes and lost to a very good Colorado Rapids team in
Very
Colorado.
good.
Very good. So I think after this one at Colorado, at Snapdragon against Colorado, you're gonna have a week to prepare for Galaxy, a week to prepare for Orlando City, and then you'll have San Jose Earthquakes, which have been diminishing a little bit on a Wednesday night. And then after that, you'll have 2 other Wednesday night games that aren't going to be until mid-October and late October. So towards the end of the season. So I think this is like a reset that they need, is just play your full squad on Saturday against the Rapids, and then you'll have a nice good week to rest for the next one. And then you have another full week to rest for the next one too, because it's just hard. It's just hard to have your best squad out there for each game. And I think that's a thing we kind of criticized Mike Ibarra's doing last year. He redlined every game, and you can't do that this year. You just don't have it this year. I don't know. It's just a different squad this time around. But I think after Saturday, it should reset and they should be able to regroup.
It does also come down to just a lot of discipline too, and just defensively, just knowing exactly where to be and what to do. The third goal, another great goal, right? The shot itself is a phenomenal goal, but again, you're trying to treat the symptom, not the root cause. In this play, who is going to be the player that you're going to bring in that's going to not just let Velde, you're too afraid to kind of actually go to him because he's shown his level already in this game. You have Alvarado coming all the way into that space to help out because Lewis, I believe that's Morgan right there on the edge of the box, not pressing as well. Yepe is acting as the third center back as he typically does. But when you look inside of the box, there's only 2 dudes for 7 SDFC players. Like you're just very concerned with anything that might go wrong, that you overpopulate and overload that box, that you leave those spaces open. And yeah, this next part, phenomenal, great, like world class. Like, yeah. But the thing that leads up to this is where you have to start to make those adjustments, and you need to start pressing. There needs to be more urgency when it comes to defending. You can't let those spaces really just go free. Those free shots are going to go in. 2 of them went in because of defensive pressing wasn't there to that level. Are they tired? Is it too much for them? Is everybody being redlined? Do they not have? These are things that we've been talking about since day one. CONCACAF, they're not going to be able to have the roster for 2 tournaments. That ends. Leagues Cups, 2 tournaments. Okay, now we're back. Has anything really fixed itself on that end? I don't think so. And even if you have the tactical prowess of a world-class coach, these are the pieces that you have. And maybe you just wanted to save some for Colorado, because if you look at the standings as well, Colorado's up in 7th. So you know what, Mikey? Good. A good Colorado team. Really good. Quién sabe? But you just let Portland take the spot that you were supposed to in 9th place. That's your spot over Galaxy had you won. Had you won, you would have been 9th. And you would have leapfrogged Seattle, Minnesota, and Galaxy. And now you're in a situation where you're starting to, game watch and just look in the future of like, there's 2 Galaxy. You're going to face another San Jose team. You're going to face, these tough matches that where you look at the schedules that you should have picked up at least some points here. Some points there. Some points are starting to really matter in the season for San Diego FC, especially in the situation where they are on the standings table.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, you nailed it. Go ahead, Alex.
And one last thing is, do you guys think that the Mikey's moves were just a little bit too late? Especially when you look at that last goal, it happened in the 68th minute, I believe, and then Bobino and Verhoeven didn't come in till the 75th minute, like 15 minutes, a few minutes later.
What's going on with Bambino?
Yeah,
he's young. Yeah. Shouldn't he be running all day? Why is he keep getting held out of matches? Is there physical thing that they're just soft shoeing right now?
I think it's just, those sports bras everybody wears that tracks you. Just
Mhm.
those semantics are kind of, they're going by the data, they're going by the numbers, and kind of putting Bombino on that, back end in terms of like, hey, we just need to be a little bit smarter because he has picked up injuries this season, and they don't want to exacerbate that and trying to be smart and place him in the best places possible. But then at the end of the day, you're kind of also giving up chances. Eisner is now gone, so you don't have another option on the defensive end as well. So it's a tough situation to be if you're Mikey Varas, and this is why, like, I'm not necessarily defending the guy, but what's a guy supposed to do with
Sure.
this hand? And sure, tactics change it, but it's not. It's that's just not going to change from here into 10 years. Like this is just the reality.
Yeah, and that's the classic keyboard warrior thing. Like, you're so stupid. Why don't you play Bombino? The team's better when you play him. You don't think Mikey Varas knows his team's better with Luca Bombino on the pitch? He absolutely knows that. He also knows so many things you don't in terms of, as Tony said, where's the data? What are the trainers saying? Do they believe his legs are redlined? Do they think that he is, a step away from a major injury? All of those things we don't know. That's why I said, like, what's the deal? Like, what's going on? Because more often than not, it's that. Yeah, I don't think it's Mike Schilt, Louis Camposano. Like, I just don't like you, and I refuse to play you. I don't think it's anything like that for SDFC. Again, it comes down to getting wins. You showed that playoff bracket, that the mid range where SDFC is, Tony, and it's so seductive to look at that and go, we've got 24, they've got 27. That's one win. All we need is a win. Hey, win our next 2 games. We'll be up to 30 points. 8th place has 28 points. Even if the line moves up a little bit, we should be in playoff position by just winning our next 2 games. And yeah, you could, that could be true. That absolutely could be true. All these other teams get opportunities to get results as well. But the thing that kills you is not winning. Another game gets ripped off the calendar. If you draw against Colorado, is that bad? You're facing a very good Colorado Rapids team. But a draw there, okay, cool. You drew against a very good team. You're at 25. Now you're at 25. So you gained nothing. You maybe lost ground in the race, and that's one more game ripped off the schedule. So honestly, if SDFC doesn't win a minimum of, I'd say, 3 in a row, I think they're going to have a very, very hard time making MLS Cup playoffs when all is said and done. I could be proven wrong. They could do it the exact right way. They could go 2 wins, a draw, a win, whatever. But they got to start pushing wins. Okay, very last thing. Then we're going to get to post-match sound. Then we're going to get to preview. Then we're going to get out of here. Do we think Marcus Ingvartsen is in a slump right now? Is this an abiding issue for the Chrome and Azul, Alex? I know you were sending us texts in the group chat in pre-match that you felt like he couldn't hit the side of a barn. Basically, Ingvartsen did have a lovely little head flick on a corner piece that turned into just a good save for Portland along the way, but that could have been a goal on Wednesday night. But overall, from both of you, what are your thoughts on Ingvartsen's form right now?
Yeah, I did see him in warmups, and he skied one over the crossbar, and it kind of seems like he's just aiming for that crossbar for some reason. I don't know why. I've never been a striker, so I don't know why certain people want to aim for certain spots, but they feel comfortable with. And Ingvartsen hasn't scored since May 16th. That's when he had a brace, and yeah, we haven't seen him on the score sheet since, and it's been a while. I really don't know. It's also the thing about it is you also have to get him the ball and give him chances, and it's not like he's there to create chances. He's there to kind of like receive and shoot, and it kind of seems like the defenses know that, and they kind of cover Imbartson pretty well. He just can't get a good shot off, and I think that's just what it is. But I think when he does have clear opportunities to score, he also like misses like 10 yards away. I don't, yeah, I didn't want to say the yips, but I think he might have the yips. He just might until he scores, until and then I can take it all back. But this isn't what you want to see from your striker, that he can't score, and he hasn't scored in the last few months because of World Cup break. But you kind of need to see him score, and you kind of want him to be the guy to stepping up when Dryer's not gone from a match. Like, you really want to see the best player who has 11 goals to step up. But yeah, he hasn't really done it in a long time.
I think it does also have to do with the fact that his play style isn't necessarily a traditional striker all the way up top, at the tip top, and making sure that he's finishing these plays. He's involved in everything. Involved in the midfield, he's involved in defending, he's involved in the creation. And as a center forward, as a false nine, that means he plays a little bit behind that tip of the spear sometimes. And a lot of the time that's where he's dwelling. But now there's a new piece in there that they've been not necessarily shoehorning, but they're putting him in there, and that's Pirani. And so Pirani is just taking a lot of the space where sometimes Imbartson would flow under, and he's giving Pirani that space because he needs to learn where he needs to be. And they also need to play up to the way that Gabi is known to play, which is in that midfield range, outside of the box, distributing, passing, being creative. And Marcus is just trying to find himself in all of this too. And once he finds himself, does he then find himself in situations where he needs to finish? Yes. Like, that's your job. You're a striker. You need to finish. And it's unacceptable to be skying them all the time. Put your shoulders down. Put the laces through the foot, through the ball. Get a corner. Make it on target. Like, do something instead of trying to go ahead and find the top bins every single time. Get something. Get a rebound. Get something that creates. And I think that's what he needs to go ahead and come back to a little bit. It also doesn't help that there is not a lot of consistency in that attack. Like, who's helping him out? Is it Morgan? Is it Zamble? Is it Pellegrino? Is it, and these things time after time do take a toll. And he's involved in 44% of all San Diego FC play. For a striker, it's sure, it's fine, but as a player that San Diego FC needs as a backbone, that's not enough. He needs to get involved a little bit more, and he doesn't have the space to do that. Out of respect for Gabi Pirani, sure. Out of sheer just, I don't want to say ineptitude, because we've seen him be very, what's the opposite of ineptitude? Very good.
Adept. Being adept. Yeah, being adept instead of
yes.
inept.
Yes, exactly. And so we've seen that. And I think that too, it goes over to what I was saying earlier. We know he's good. And I think that's the big mystery. And that's the frustration with this team of, like, we've seen it. It's more disappointing than if we knew, okay, maybe you're just not that guy. Alex Mayen, I think we've already established, not that guy. Like, I'm not surprised. In Vartson, though, we've seen it. We've seen him play. We've seen some world-class stuff. Same thing, and I'll pass it back. Yepes Verskov. He hasn't been the same.
Yeah,
he has not been the same. Like, this is a different Yepes Verskov, whether it's injury, whether it's being figured out, whether it's having to do 10 different tasks at once between 90 minutes, whatever it may be, it's just not the same. And that's your spinal column of what year two was supposed to be. In Vartson, Sverskov. We have both of them together. It's going to be great. Regardless of who you put around, it's going to be great. It's been inconsistent. It's been good, not great.
Very fair. All right, let's go to post-match sound from Wednesday night. Tony, what did you, courtesy of SanDiego.Futbol, harvest from the fields of Portland?
I think people are going to be maybe surprised, or just a different reasoning by Mikey. Some classic good old hits, but maybe some things that are going to perk the ear of, like, oh, okay, maybe this is a little bit different in what we usually see from a loss and or tie from Mikey Varas.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Well, let me put it up to speed.
There.
0.5.
So he was drunk. Or the guy on the mic was.
Gentlemen, we're with San Diego FC head coach Mikey Varas. Mikey, just ask you a reflection on the match.
Recording in progress.
Yeah, thoughts are we have to be disappointed because we have 70% of the ball. We have 45 touches in their box, and we don't score enough goals, and then we don't control the transitions well enough. Too many turnovers that lead to big transitions, or lack of aggressiveness and intensity to stop the transitions, and ultimately that's where Portland can hurt you. So we have to be disappointed, and we have to take accountability for it. We hit a standard away to LAFC, and that we all wanted to keep and grow from, and ultimately we took a little bit of a step back today in that. But at the end of the day, it's important. We've had a lot of players get some good playing time. I think we know a lot about our squad right now, and where we're at. And I think we have a lot of guys who can contribute. It's just a matter of each one of us, me included, committing to stepping it up at an individual level so that we can be our collective best, because we're on a mission to climb the table.
On that note, looking ahead into the home match against Colorado, what's the outlook on that, and then how important are these next matches heading into the later stage of the tournament?
Yeah, every game becomes more expensive than the last at this point. 14 left. We have some work to do, and everything is about points right now.
I'm going to ask you in Spanish.
Good. Little alacrity from Mikey Vadas. I mean, I think that's the message I was trying to share to the audience as well. He had the specific number. There's 14 matches left. You can't, dick around and lose 7 of them and tie, 4 of them and hope that those 3 wins are going to get you into the tournament. That 12 points will be enough to get you from 24 to 36, and that'll be enough. Like, could it? It's not impossible, but it's pretty damn unlikely. In fact, I think, Alex, you came up with the metrics of exactly how many points you thought they needed, right?
Yeah, probably 46 points, and you still need another 22 with 14 to play. So that's about 2 points per game. So
yeah, 28 would be 2 points per game. So
Yeah.
22 is 1.6 or whatever.
Yeah.
That's telling you the truth. You have to start winning.
Mhm.
Draws aren't enough. Home wins are going to be absolutely critical, Tony. So, Colorado got you on a last-minute stunner, to start the second half up there. You've got to get them on Saturday night. You've got it. Season isn't over if you don't, but these are the types of games that you're going to look back and go, well, that's why we didn't make it. If you don't start getting these results right quick.
And the devil's in the details, because this season has been very marginal for San Diego FC. We've seen them improve, a little bit, and when it comes to the last 20 some minutes of play, closing out games, getting those results. But this is the latest team that you played in Colorado that you saw this San Diego FC squad just completely lose the plot and come back and not have points to show after it. Because if you really think about it, like, every point, singular point, matters. Getting 0 is not going to cut it. It's not going to be, it's not going to put yourself in a position for success. And what the metric of success is for San Diego FC, if they miss playoffs now, thinking of that reality, if they miss playoffs in year 2, it's still an expansion team, sure, but they had the talent. We've seen the talent. This San Diego FC team that beat LAFC can go in a playoff run, but is that what you're going to get every single week, week in, week out? We haven't seen that consistency all season. We haven't seen a moment of consistency from this team, whether it's home, whether it's away. It's just an imbalance. I think that's the first thing that just needs to happen. Go back to your fundamentals, have a foundation, and work on that foundation. What are you good at? You mentioned it earlier. We know what they're not good at. We know what they're really bad at. We know, and everybody else knows that. Not just you. every team that you play knows what the weaknesses are. So play up to your strengths. Also, is this really maybe a team that plays up or down to the competition? Perhaps LAFC is a pretty big game. They played up to it, but there's been moments where they just don't show up, where some players turn off, where it's just not working. And so that's the reality of some of these teams too. Teams see big games and they come back up. But if you come back up and beat Galaxy and still miss playoffs, beat them twice and miss playoffs, you got them undefeated against LA. But in the bigger picture, like in big potatoes, that doesn't mean anything.
Oh, big potatoes, small potatoes. Look who saw Spider-Man, huh?
I'll start my Marvel podcast later.
Outstanding. Let me know when you're going to do it. I need a new co-host for Crossing Streams. It's back on hiatus again because Reed had to go Hollywood on me. All right. Turning my thoughts to Colorado. There's no question that Colorado Rapids is very good at home. Where counting U.S. Open Cup play, the Rapids have delivered 5 straight home shutouts at Elevation. Okay, I accept. One of those 5 shutouts was 1-0 over SanDiego FC to open up the second half of this season. On the road this year, Colorado has 2 wins and 1 draw in 10 results. They are 2-7-1 playing outside Mile High Air. So I'm going to say it again. This is a must-win game for SanDiego FC. It's not over if they lose or draw, but this you've got to beat teams like this at home to be one of the best teams to make the playoffs. If you're kicking opportunities like this away, that's because you're not one of the best teams that's supposed to make the playoffs.
And as San Diego at home has been, pretty decent. 4 wins, three draws, and 3 losses with a 9+9 goal differential. So that's giving the fans hope that they do have this home field advantage too, and they can defeat somebody like the Colorado Rapids. And just in the league play alone, in the last 5, they beat San Diego, but then they had to go on the road to St. Louis, lost 1-0. Then another 3 home games after that against Texas, Austin, Sporting KC, and LAFC, all wins, all shutouts. And you kind of see like, okay, this is a good home team, but can they be a good good team on the road? Probably not. I think there's a change in dynamics there, and there's also a different team now from what we saw. The kid that Colorado Rapids had, Lucas Harrington, has left the team, is now going to Europe. Something that we might see pretty soon out of Manodua, Luca Bombino. But the goal scorer that we saw against the Colorado Rapids, Loic Williams, he's taking his spot now. So it's still, a pretty good team that still likes to possess the ball. We saw a lot of that, and then we also saw that the slow start to it, right? The slow start where San Diego had no shots, nothing on, really no
Right.
touches in the opposition box. That was coming out of a World, Cup break. So I have to believe there's going to be some changes. You're going to see a better San Diego team. You're going to see the same Rapids team. It's going to be exactly the same as seen last time at Colorado. So there's not going to be any major differences. Just go out, play your style, and you should get the win at home. It's going to be a big 3 points if you can get them. So I think they can. They're a really good team, as we've heard Mikey Vars say.
I know, we've made it a bit, but I mean, they have 5 straight home shutouts. They just beat LAFC 1-0 at home. They're obviously not a bad team.
But did you see how they scored that goal though? It was on an own goal.
Oh, jeez.
Own goal. So I don't know what's worse: losing in the final minutes, or an own goal to lose against this Rapids team.
Yes, is the answer. Tony, as we pick up your reaction to this, the only thing I might have thrown Mikey's way, I certainly wouldn't have printed it and put it on a banner to fly over the stadium, but I was kind of hoping to see a jury to start the second half of the match in Portland. Is there any chance that we can see the Achuri and Gvartson Dreyer line on Saturday night?
I do think there's a chance, especially if the minutes that he's getting are climbing and coming up more and more. It's kind of a philosophical question in terms of, if you have a player that can go one half, like Achuri, would you have him in the first half and then sub him out at the half, and then see what happens after, and just see the best version of San Diego FC out the gate, get some goals, get some chances, and then try to hold on to it? Because then on the other side, San Diego hasn't been the best at holding on to those leads, or you let it play out. Then you see, okay, let's throw Achuri in there, as they did, and that may balance a little bit more, especially with Dreyer back in the lineup. I'll find out more. I'll be at training tomorrow for San Diego FC, and I'll ask Mikey, like, hey, what's it looking like? Like, is it he coming back up with some minutes? Are you starting to plan him to play him as a starter? But I think he'll more than likely say, like, well, he's building up those minutes, and we'll see, just to not give anything to the opposition, and just kind of since everybody loves watching SanDiego.Futbol and watching our media availability. That's how MLS teams have scouted San Diego FC, apparently.
It's your fault, Tony. If only there was absolutely nobody there asking questions or posting video, SDFC could get away with so much more.
I was thinking about that the other day. Like, where would it be? Like, how would people even know? How people wouldn't even have known that Chucky Lozano was
right. Just be like, what's going on? I guess he's hurt.
Where'd he go? Yeah. Where'd he go?
Sunlight is the best disinfectant, and the sun shines from SanDiego.Futbol.
But yeah, we'll find out more tomorrow, and again too, like I'm curious to see, like, is the level of competition that they're facing in San Diego FC just a little bit more intense because they're playing with these teams that are fighting for their playoff lives, where LAFC potentially had a little bit more cushion to say, hey, if we lose, we lose. We're in second, third place. Like, it's fine. Like, a loss here isn't going to kick us out of playoffs. When it really matters is in playoffs. And that's when we need to go ahead and start peaking if you're a team in that first, second, third, fourth, fifth.
Well, bottom line for me, not to be overly simplistic about it, but I'm putting the cards face up here. SDFC needs to win. They need to put multiple goals on the board. They need a 2-1 victory over Colorado Rapids on Saturday night. It doesn't have to be a clean sheet, but they've got to put 2 on the board. They can't dick around with a 1-goal game and hoping that they're going to close a 1-0. If that happens, if they let the Rapids stick around long enough, they could wind up with the type of loss that will keep them out of the playoffs. They've got to get this result. They've got to get this win. I want to see early offense. To answer your question that you put up philosophically, Tony, I 1000% would start Achuri. If they think he's got 45 minutes in him, I want the first 45. I want to set a tone. I want to see what it looks like with him and Dreyer and Ingvartsen and all of my starters and Tverskov and Oliver. Like, I want to load up the lineup with the team and Pirani. Like, I want to put all the offensive players out there and see if we can be up 2-0 at half. Like, I really want to see that from SDFC. And if you're up 2-0 at half, you're going to beat Colorado. You're going to take care of business. It is not going to be a problem. The Rapids are going to be thinking about their next home game and the next chance to see red cherry-faced defenders racing up and down their elevated pitch. I don't worry if you can get that going early. The idea of wait, hang on, let's save him for the second half. Let's play Mighton. Morgan's okay. Alex Pena said so. Morgan was okay. He did play all right. He didn't play bad. But he's not going to create goals the way that Dreyer can. And he's not going to create goals the way that Achuri can. And I want to see what they do together for an actual half of football and see what that means. So, like, personally, if I was Varas, I'd be asking Achuri, give me 60. Give me 60 on Saturday. Give me the first 45. Come back after halftime. Give me what you can. We'll get you out of there after the 60th minute. We'll bring in somebody young to run for you because we're going to be up 2-0 at that point. And at that point, all we need is for someone to come in and press and run. That's how personally I would look at it. Load it up, first half, get the goals, get the lead, take care of business against Rapids, and they'll give you the second half along the way. You know, the way they've been playing with their good run of form at home and their terrible run of form on the road. If you can get a couple goals on them, they're going to go, okay, not our game, 2-8-1. We got another home game coming up. Let's go take care of business. Any other thoughts before we wrap her up?
Yeah, just to add what you were saying, Craig. Yes, score early on this team because they are 6-0-0 when they score first. So, and that includes 2-0-0 on the road. So yes, you do want to score early on this team and often, and just get it done early. And so I agree with you. We should see Achuri in the first half and then feel it out and see what you do in the second half.
All right. First goal, Tony. First goal. If SDFC gets the first goal, everyone rips their shirts off. Everyone goes crazy. Everyone can leave at halftime. It's okay. First goal against, I mean, you could leave right then.
Beat the traffic.
Yes. Oh man.
But yeah, well, it's playoffs. Like for SanDiego.FC, you're already in playoffs, and right now they just can't afford to take any losses and just have that and just have that mentality that it's do or die. And right now, they need to go ahead and do really quickly. They need to be ready. They need to be prepared. Ready as not the adjective, but ready as in the verb. Like they need to be prepared to be a team that should be worthy of playoffs. Because honestly, right now, they're not.
Fair words from your Chromaniacs. We're all fired up to see what the Chromaniacs will do on Saturday night. Well, based on what we discussed before we hit record, looks like we'll be doing a post-match show for you Saturday night with Tony live from Snapdragon and me home from Snapdragon. All of us in our various studios ready to rock with you live on YouTube. So again, make sure you click that subscribe button, that notifications bell right here on SanDiego.Futbol, because that way you will know when we go live. It's always a little bit random on a 7:30 night game. Tony's got to get the sound. It depends on when Mano Dua shows up in his slippers and everything else. So could be 10:15, could be 10, could be 10:30. But if you hit that notifications bell, your phone will tell you the second we go live on Saturday night. Tony, what else would you like to pimp on the way out?
Well, we got SanDiego.Futbol. We're going to have coverage tomorrow of San Diego Wave as they face Utah, I believe.
Gotta win.
Have to. San Diego teams have to get those results in. Hopefully, they leave the pitch well enough to have a good match on Saturday. We'll see what that looks like. But everything on SanDiego.Futbol, it is where we have everything from Chromaniacs, post-match sound, pre-match sound. SanDiego.Futbol, that's the way to go. Look at that.
Yeah. Look at those red glasses. I went yellow today, but the red will be back. Give me another dub. The red will be right back with you.
Yeah.
Alex?
Yeah, and for me, ChromaticFC.com, and I've been writing a ton this past week because I was away at LAFC. I talked about my experience there, and then did another match a day preview for Portland. Went to Portland, and I'm actually in the process of finishing that up. So recap probably posted by tomorrow. So yeah, check out ChromaticFC.com and catch me on Chromatic FC SD in Instagram. What about you, Craig?
Well, Padres Hot Tub patrons got a live show from me just before we recorded this show on Thursday night, group therapy, which we do for our patrons during an off day in the schedule or after a Padres series loss. Both of those things were active today, so we had to do a group therapy, and we did. You can check out all the things we do at patreon.com/Padres Hot Tub, or you can just subscribe to Padres Hot Tub either on YouTube or on the same podcast platform where you are right now, and you'll get our free show once a week, every week. But patrons get so much more, 4 to 5 more shows per week, just depending on how the week went. There we are on YouTube. We're just a tick under 2,000 subscribers. So we're trying to get Chromaniacs to 1,000, trying to get Padres Hot Tub to 2,000. So check it all out. Padres Hot Tub, wherever you get your content. Patreon.com/Padres Hot Tub if you're a true fan and you want to help out the show. That's it for now. For Tony Sanchez and Alex Pena, I'm Craig Elston. We'll talk to you Saturday night. Until then, vamos, SDFC.